Jeffrey Williams, also known as Young Thug, created one of the biggest rap-related groups called YSL, creating many multi-millionaire rappers and changing the lives of thousands. However, YSL and those same YSL members are now the reason that Young Thug has just lost his rap career for good, as it all started on May 9th, 2022, when the YSL mansion would be raided by Special Forces police team as well as the FBI. In the process, a list of 28 YSL members were arrested for RICO charges alongside Young Thug and Gunna, two kingpins of YSL. While standing in the middle of the street, an FBI sergeant read off what Young Thug was being charged with, which is team involvement charges, narcotic charges, possession of firearm charges, possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony, possession of a fully auto, 3 separate charges of unlawful for person employed by or associated with criminal street activity, and then to top it off, Young Thug is being hit with the Racketeer Influence and Corrupt Organizations Act, otherwise known as the RICO charge. Now, 5 days later from this arrest, Young Thug would have more charges added to his resume, as it states, "In the name and behalf of the citizens of Georgia, do charge and accuse Duke, Yak Gotti, and Jeffrey Williams with the offense of possession of a firearm for the said accused in the state of Georgia, in the county of Fulton, on the 9th day of May 2022, did unlawfully possess a firearm with a converter switch and extended mags." As during the YSL mansion raid, FBI agents found narcotics, firearms, switches, and other illegal items inside of the house. With 28 members of YSL now walking into the Fulton County Jail, allegedly within 3 hours, 2 members began snitching on Young Thug, creating proffer deals with the feds.
He's the one directing traffic. He is the one they're all afraid of. He's the one that's King Slime. He is the most dangerous of the 28, Judge. And I implore you not to grant him a bond. He is dangerous. If he gets a burner, Judge, and the court may know this, a lot of the communications that Mr. Williams is on FaceTime, because it's not traceable, it's not trackable. Judge, I will also say that we have taken proffers from fellow from Mr. Williams. Some are on this indictment, some are not. They have stated uniformly that Mr. Williams is dangerous. They are afraid of him, that if they cross him, he will them and their family. And they were very clear about that.
Concerns that this court has is danger to persons and to intimidate other witnesses and obstruct the administration of justice. So and for those reasons in the aggregate, I'm going to deny bond at this time.
The YSL member that created a proffer deal with the feds, as mentioned in that clip, is known as YSL Woody. As reports came out of, and I quote, "Truth teller YSL Woody popped back out on the gram last year after cooperating with the police for 3 hours and solving over 50 crimes, telling on Young Thug, YFN Lucci, and others." Ironically, in his caption, he claims that he didn't cry or cooperate. Now, the judge would then share in court the information of YSL Woody turning state, leaving Young Thug to react in the courtroom. With the YSL case only being in the early stages and evidence already beginning to stack up against Young Thug, his lawyers figured out a way to defend all of this. Except it comes with sacrificing the Young Thug name, as on October 27th, Young Thug's Twitter account would release a tweet stating, "Jeffrey has reportedly cut ties with Young Thug." Now, an online lawyer put out a statement regarding on what this exactly means, so follow along closely. Jeffrey Williams plays the role/character of Young Thug. The character known as Young Thug is technically a brand and it is not a real person. The brand name Young Thug is owned by the record label known as 300 Entertainment and is used for entertainment purposes only. All lyrics used by the character Young Thug relates to no human being, as it's just for entertainment for the music listener. With Young Thug being a character, the actions and views made by him in music lyrics, music videos, and videos online cannot reflect back on the human Jeffrey Williams as the person, as he is only playing a character online. Jeffrey Williams was a person portraying to be Young Thug on behalf of the company 300 Entertainment as well as the YSL business. Now I know that sounds confusing, but that's exactly why it's a good thing, and why Jeffrey Williams, aka Young Thug, has the greatest lawyers in the United States. A majority of the evidence against Young Thug is related and tied to the music he created, with lots of lyrics dissing ops, explaining crimes, and so on. Jeffrey Williams, however, had nothing to do with it. He was just being paid to play the character of Young Thug, which in the end would mean the name Young Thug will be officially gone after the case is over. Now, what we're witnessing is a complete takeover of the rap industry with RICO charges by the Atlanta DA, and it only gets worse from here, as she has been offering amazing proffer deals to these YSL snitches who have now mentioned Lil Baby's name, as DJ Academics reported that Lil Baby, as well as members of 4PF, are now next on the Atlanta DA's RICO list, as this new paperwork had been leaked in the Atlanta DA's office, revealing concerning information on 4PF and Lil Baby. Very similar to how YSL and Young Thug were raided and arrested, Lil Baby is now next up on the list.
An in-depth investigation. Recent months you've had 2 high-profile racketeering cases. There's gonna be more.
Over the next 60 days, you'll see 2 more.
Now this got reactions from Lil Baby himself outside of an airport.
How you doing, little baby? Little baby. Little baby, how's Young Thug doing? I know
Give him
all the
some space, man. Give him some
circumstances.
space, please.
Just want to see how they holding up good?
Sure.
All right. Love what you're doing, man.
Now, Young Thug's lawyers warned him that his best friends could get involved in this case for their ties with each other in the rap game. Now, he was correct. What Young Thug didn't believe would happen is his best friends turning state on him in the middle of the YSL RICO case. His best friend, co-owner, and someone he calls a brother snitched on him. This would be none other than Gunna, as on December 14th, YSL rapper Gunna accepted a plea deal inside of the courtroom. As in this plea deal, Gunna admitted that YSL is a street team that commits crimes, as shared in this video.
You agree or acknowledge that statements are true, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
I became affiliated with YSL around 2016. Is that true as it pertains to you, Mr. Kitchens?
Yes, ma'am.
YSL is a music label, and you have personal knowledge that members or associates of YSL have committed crimes in furtherance.
Yes, ma'am.
You were present when law enforcement officers stopped a vehicle in which you were present along with Jeffrey Williams, wherein hydrocarbons and a firearm were recovered. These items did not belong to you.
Yes, ma'am.
And do you acknowledge the following statement? I recognize, accept, and deeply regret that my talent and music indirectly furthered YSL to the detriment of my community. YSL again. Is that your statement or acknowledgement?
Yes.
So with Gunna now snitching also against Young Thug, this would give the feds all of the evidence that they need, making it very clear the prosecutors want no one else other than Young Thug. As ever since December 14th, the YSL case has looked very grim, as we saw new evidence presented in the courtroom against Young Thug, all evidence being provided by the snitches in the case. However, it would be at this moment where the YSL RICO case would just get absolutely concerning, as well as a little confusing, as everything was going against him. Not only members snitching, but also YSL members now setting him up in the courtroom, as it was announced only 2 weeks after Gunna snitched. My colleague Mark just obtained surveillance video that shows the moment prosecutors accuse Young Thug and his co-defendant, Khalif Adams, of conduring a hand-to-hand deal in the courtroom. As it continues, when deputies searched Adams, they found him in possession of narcotics wrapped in plastic and food seasoning to conceal the odor. According to investigators, Adams was then taken to Grady Hospital after he appeared to ingest other items of contraband in an effort to conceal the extent of his crimes within the court. Prosecutors then filed a motion asking the court to make a finding of fact that court was delayed on January 18th, 2023 because of the actions of defendant Williams and defendant Adams. This would lead to the final tweet stating, an attorney named Keith Adams for Young Thug responded to the allegations that his client was involved in the deal, with the audio being leaked of Young Thug's lawyer reacting to these allegations.
The reality is, Mr. Williams had nothing to do with what went on in the courtroom on yesterday. One of the co-defendants, on his way to the restroom, attempted to pass something to Mr. Williams, who immediately turned it over to the deputy.
He did not know it was allegedly Percocet?
Did not know. Well, we don't know what it is. Did not know what it was, turned it over to the deputy right away. The deputies took action. The individual who had the contraband, not Mr. Williams, was taken into the back.
And if that wasn't proof enough on why prosecutors are trying anything possible to make sure that Young Thug gets sentenced to life inside a prison, prosecutors tried making something out of absolutely nothing, and it worked. Young Thug's manager created a tweet for him on his Twitter, where he stated, "I'm talking with my roommate, and we're wondering if you could swim 100 miles from the middle of the ocean back to shore, at Michael Phelps." Now, what seems like a very innocent tweet sent out by his manager by Young Thug's request turned very ugly in the courtroom, as this was Young Thug's lawyer defending him in court about this matter.
Williams is in a jail outside of Fulton County. There are 0 cell phones in that jail.
That last tweet that was sent out to Michael Phelps is recorded. It's been investigated by the sheriff of that county, and it was a conversation that's recorded between Mr. Williams and a member of his close friendships, that he asked the other person who has control of his Twitter account. That is not a reason to...
Well, this is part of the conversation, Mr. Steele, and you and others are going to need to have with your clients, because this is part of the state's concern. I mean...
That was an innocent... That's nothing bad. Asking somebody to tweet to Michael Phelps, can you swim 100 miles in the ocean? That has nothing to do with intimidation. I'd ask you, Rico.
Well, if I can communicate through a family member or somebody else, then I can communicate something else.
Everything okay over there?
Sorry.
Yeah. Okay, your family was concerned that something was going on. You're fine, right?
Yes, I'm great.
Okay, cool.
The prosecutor is alleging that Young Thug is using his Twitter account through jail via his manager to send out secretive tweets. The secretive tweet theory would all begin when YSL Woody would start snitching on Young Thug at the very beginning of the case. YSL Woody demanded safety for him and his family after he started snitching on Young Thug. But Lil Woody didn't only snitch on Young Thug, as allegedly he snitched on Lil Baby as well as other members of YSL. Doing so in the process, his family was allegedly noticing weird things happening in their area of living. Their backyard gate being mysteriously opened in the middle of the night, weird knocks on their door when there was no one there, as well as their mail continuing to be taken out of their mailbox. When you put everything that I shared in this video together, it definitely makes Young Thug's music career look very concerning.